Hi guys, Retro Tech Ralph. Right, I'm in the middle of somewhere. This is now part 2 of the BBC Acorn compatible whatever cassette player that I got from Chris, who's, yeah, I did the strip down last video. At the moment I've got pieces everywhere. That's not live just yet. However, me and electricity don't go too well together anyway. But yeah, strip down, part 1, you want to see that, how to hit to pieces to get to this stage, fine. The audio won't come out of this. Now the big problem with that is it needs to somehow, either via the DIN socket on the side or the earphone socket on there anyway. Now, I've been to Chris is convinced that to get down to this level, yes, yada yada, we can do certain things, and he's convinced that the earphone socket, inside there's a couple of little leaf pieces of metal in there. When you put the actual socket in, it pushes that down, cuts off the speaker and sends audio out there into the cable which runs off towards your Acorn or BBC. Similar with the DIN socket as well, that will just cut off audio going to other areas. It will just concentrate on that one only. I'm not convinced, but I'm going to do this anyway to see if it is. So I'm stripped down to this much. Everything is virtually same. It's kind of, not same, it's stripped down enough. I've got screws in certain places, I don't want to lose them. So what I'm going to do is I need to test this. I don't want to test this on camera because it's either going to be loud or it's just not going to work. So it's going to be great video when things don't actually work and the camera's not straight. There we go. And so I'll test this. I have got an idea that I'm gonna just oil it, because these things just dry out over time. Certain parts I think I need to oil, so I'm going to put a bit of WD-40 on in certain bits. But while you've been filming this, I took the pieces. I've looked at all of these solder joints on the board, and I can't find one that's dry solder. It's not the best soldering. This is not my soldering, by the way. This really isn't that good. Whether or not Chris in his youth went through this and did soldering and stuff, but it's for Acorn, for a BBC, it's shoddy. I mean, to be honest, I can do better, and I'm no good at this sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do, the earphone socket's here. It actually looks like a big blob of solder anyway, right there. So I'm not fully convinced that this hasn't already been done. It might be a case of if this is the problem and that earphone socket is the issue, then that could be replaced. I'm not sure I would get an exact replica, but let me go away for a second and let me test that to see whether or not the earphone socket, because there was sound coming from this, but it was barely. So here's my first attempt at solution to try and get audio into this and get it working properly. Right, I've attempted with a set of earphones, which is just basically putting the plug in and out on, where's the end there, just to see. It does have a crackling and it does go completely dead when the earphone socket is in. So that, I class that as, that seems to be fine. However, we're going to have a little bit of oil in there just in case. Nothing over the top. I just want to loosen anything up that may be in there. So it's just preventative maintenance. Yeah, it's just dirt that collects over these things. WD-40 is not too bad actually. It comes out really good foam, to be honest, and it just lightly coats stuff. But we'll get round to drying that off when we get round to it. So the earphone socket actually does work. So that I'm not discounting it yet. I'm just kind of pushing that to one side. Right, with this being off, I want to try something. I don't think I can actually do it properly. There's a guy, and I will get his name right now. There we go. He's on YouTube. Nash Mills, he commented on the last video. Says, interested to see part 2. Wasn't planning on a part 2, but that's this. The exact same issue, no sound from speaker or earphone socket. Think it might be the Toshiba power amp, the TA7628P, which is kind of there-ish. So that is it's a test to see whether or not that actually does make a sound, make any. The problem with this is testing chips for me is an absolute nightmare, and I can't do it, but I want to do it, but I should be able to do it. But I just have to rely on whether or not the thing actually works properly. So I need to get this board out a little bit. So I need to try and get rid of this cable tie-ish, but not try and get the cables from here or away, so then I can flip this over that way to have a look on the board on the opposite side. Now, a little bit of a pain later, but it's as it is, and I'm too close to that transformer for my own liking at the moment. But there's your board, and it doesn't look that good, that bad. I'll try and lay things out. That is switched off, so I'm just leaving that to power. I'm not 100% certain. The possible recap on here may work. If I do everything, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15 caps on here, all of varying types. So, see underneath there, right there, if I can zoom in a little bit, that's not in the right place. There is your chip, the TA762H8HP. Apparently I've got, instead of the P like Nash Mills wants me to, well, he put in his, which is fine. It did actually work in his, which is great, and yeah. But I want to do a couple of bit of testing off camera, because this is going to take me ages to do. So I'm not quite certain. Again, I'm not an electrician, I'm just a handy person really, just hoping that these things will work on a good day. But yeah, we have good days, we have bad days. So let's see what happens when I'll just test a few bits and bats on the board. A bit of testing, a bit of crackling has come out of here. There's, is it C? Nope, it's C25. Whenever I press on that one, it makes a crackling noise. It makes a buzzing noise. So I'm thinking it may be a recap needed. The chip seems fine, there's no dirt, there's no obvious debris on there. I'm not fully convinced why that switch is there either. It does feel a little bit iffy. Just feels a little bit like it's grinding. I think that might be the spring in the middle anyway. So what I'm going to do, test again. Not quite sure. This is one of them frustrating videos that I'm not certain to do, but we'll get round to eventually. There's a little bit of brownage sort of crap on there, but I thought this was down to this capacitor here being something wrong with it, but it's not. That's just flux on there, and they don't look like they need doing. It's just that cap there I'm not 100% convinced with. It's a 10 UF by 15 volts. I could probably replace it and see what's what. Again, we're just still more testing with the cassettes, and yeah, let's see where I can go. Now, my biggest problem with this is I've got all this here and I can't fully test the cassette at its position because it's rubbing against either the board or the case. It's just trying to get that little sweet spot. That's not play. Which one's play? Come on, Ralph. It's not the right way around, but there we go. See, it's just rubbing against the bottom. There we go. That's better. Now, I think I might have got somewhere. I'm not certain. Volumes are on, whatever. I have a hiss. That's a big... Okay. We have success. The tone works. Hasn't gone off again. That's a cassette, I think. Yeah. The thing with it, I think it's this switch here. And it's me with the case on there. It's not. There. It's it's things that are clogged up with rubbish. That switch there definitely has come back into its own by me oiling that. Rubbing against this, everything. I've done something with that. I think I might re-solder that part on the board, because I'm not convinced the cap's working. Let me show you the noise from. Now, the cap seems to have fixed itself as well. So that's like a cut off when something manual goes over, so I guess something on here. That is definitely something catching. I'm going to clean those as well. So that's definitely one of the issues. I'm going to re-solder the parts on the back of there to see if it's a dry solder joint on that as well as, but that is a massive, massive improvement to the last video. Yeah, I'm going to get cleaning and more oiling. Lots of oil later. No crackling at all. There is tone there. That's a lot better. Even a switch. There's definitely something up right with that switch. See, there you go. Definitely that switch. I'll put money on that switch. So I need to look into that a bit further. The socket there looks a bit loose as well. It might want gluing on inside here, to be honest. Cool, so we have massive, massive progress on this. Turn that around. Nope. Covered in oil. Get cleaned and stop oiling everything. Get this sorted. This is good progress. Just basically showing you that things get clogged up with crap over the years. I mean, this is from 83 to 4, whatever it is, and it's kind of, yeah, just plain old filthy and dirty, but not as dirty as some things that I've had problems with in the past. But yeah, so good progress, very good progress. Now we're a little bit more back together again. The actual, what gets me a little bit is the switch itself. I'm not convinced what this switch is. I mean, it cuts off, but surely it should be on and off. But bang below it is, I need to show you. Hold on, there we go. Circuit board is there. Okay, now that from there all the way to there, the full screen, I'll zoom out a little bit for you. It's exactly where the switch is. So I'm guessing there's either something shorting inside, these two pins are together but they're not. I mean, it cuts off a lot of things, a hell of a lot of things. I mean, with not knowing fully about this, please do in the description below if you know exactly what that switch is for. However, it's fine. It does actually work really well with a good oil inside it, and then it's done. So I'm actually quite happy that that was. It was. I could have probably figured that one out from the first video if I'd have dug in a little bit deeper and actually caked the board with oil. Everything's covered in oil now. Right, the cassette player's back in. That board wants to go on. I'm not fully convinced why that's loose. Well, it's not loose, but let's put it in place and see if it stays where it is. Wires and wires everywhere. I've got 2 screws holding this in. Will that hold in place when it's in? Yeah, it will. So my 2 screws for that was these 2 because they're going to metal. Because they've got thin threads on them. And actually, I need to look behind this to see what. I need to put this in because I'm terrified of breaking any cables or anything to I can't solder, obviously. You've seen some of my work on the channel, obviously, haven't you? Nope. Right. Okay. But yeah, I can solder, and these things are doable, but it's nicer just to go and do a job and then it worked fine. So let me just get this all back in place, and I need to look at where that switch is pushing up from. Well, I haven't got that board fully reattached yet. Right, I've sussed out exactly what that is. If you... oh, how am I going to do this now? Right. I can't even see it myself to show you. The switch is somewhere in there. Let me try and get even further in. Is that it? There it is. The black bit right in the centre, right there. That is where the button is. Can we get a torch in? There. Now, if you can keep your eye on the centre of the screen, it is right in the middle. When I press down on... oh, come on, Ralph, I can't do this. This is wrong. Press down on that. I can't do this, I need 3 hands. If you press down on the tab for record... come on, Ralph, you can do it. There we go. That piece of metal goes in front of, which is that bit. Oh, where are you? There. Pushes in and obviously cuts off all the audio. So it just basically is a big kill switch for all the audio, so record. And then back out again. It's gone. So that looks like it's the problem. It's the amount of crap that's been collected inside that black switch for over the years. There we go. So that metal pin there, I'm sure that's enough, because the metal that's on that pin is very gentle, but it does push it enough anyway to get that in. So that's what that switch does, just basically cuts off all the audio board. So you can record, which is good. And it does actually line up the work. So a little last part, and the power is definitely off, yes, is we're going to line this back up. See, at least that shows that if you've actually got a problem with it, you can use the record button to literally move out the crap. Just press the record as many times as you possibly can, just to loosen off any crap that's inside that switch. But it does cut off a lot of things. So, done. Okay, so let's put him back in, who was the original owner. Put this together, put the switches on, and then hopefully it's all done and sorted. As I'm putting things back together again, I've actually found that when I said before about being careful with wires, yeah, the blue wire there is not attached. Luckily for me, it does go to there, and we will be fine. Or does it go to there? I'm sure it goes to there anyway. If not, this ain't going to work. Both blue and black can't go to the same pin anyway, so it's either an earth. Well, it's there. It looks very much like it's there anyway, so I'm going to reattach that back to where it's supposed to go. It's just fiddly little things that just, you know, these things happen, but it's just a cable. It's easily, very easily repairable. So again with that, I'll put this together and then we can do final testing. Make sure this all works fine. Now just about 90-odd%. Yeah, a couple of screws in the back. I'm just testing this just in case. I always get a problem with these. Once I put all the screws in, it doesn't work. So I've put one screw in the middle, the other 4 are over here, which you can't see in the back for the battery compartment. So we're going to test this. Okay, everything's in. Let's go. There's still a crackle in there. Still definitely crackling there. I'm not keen on that at all. Try that again. Is that the actual recording? Can't be. That always works. What not convinced on this it's not the tape that's actually broken. Unfortunately, the only other tape I've got is something that is copyrighted and stuff anyway, so... Hang on. I think I've got some more Acorn software. One sec. I have another tape that I got with one of my Acorns that I got. So it's got 4 games on here, Maze and whatever else. It might be. I might be lucky if it is just a cassette from 1985 and doesn't work. I doubt it, but I have been lucky before. No, well, sort of lucky. Come on. No, that's not working at all, is it? It's gone well past the brown. Should be. Oh. That's working perfect. It's the cassette. I mean, obviously there'll be overdrive on the back end of that, but it's that first side that's not playing right. So yes, there's a problem. Yes, it's filthy. Yes, it needed a clean, and those are the areas you need to at least oil. Okay, still going. But it's side A on this that doesn't fully work. I think that's actually Chris's game, that, to be honest, overdrive. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's now, as we do in the background and let it just do its own thing. Yeah, I am really happy with that. It's working fine. And volume 3 point whatever. Works fine. Oh, I just love this sort of noise, isn't it? Absolutely amazing to listen to. No, that's why we have CDs now, or memory chips, or cartridges. Done. So, with that in mind, that's what you need to do to clean out your grubby, dirty BBC microcomputer systems data recorder, or basically the cassette player. So, that in mind, I'm going to leave that as is. Done, sorted. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the Nash Mills for the suggestion with the chip. At the moment, for me, it doesn't seem to be needed, so I think I'm all right without it. But yeah, thanks for the conversation about the other one, about the part 1. Like I said, please like, subscribe. If you can share this on social media, comment below, do what you want. Still playing in the background nicely. Help out the channel as much as you can. Patreon, YouTube, memberships. Going to donate something like Chris did for this, for the cassette player. Please get in touch. All the links are down below. And I will see you in another video. Bye for now.